Some commentators in the United States believe it's their duty to impose regime change to Venezuelans through bombing. Perhaps it is a sector of United States population, those who are acting as terrorists, similar to sectors of the Israel population who designed all the ethnic cleansing in Gaza. They assume United States naval and air superiority is enough, while avoiding a thorough check on Venezuelan alliances with China and Russia, which are absolutely operational. Ships and aircraft from both Russia and China have been arriving into Venezuela in recent days. Arrival of Chinese aircraft required Venezuelan Sukois to clear a pathway for them to land at Maiquetía airport, as United States hostile aircraft were trying to block Chinese aircraft entrance. Russian Navy, along with Venezuelan Navy, is extensively patrolling Venezuelan maritime space. All missiles and drones are ready to launch should the United States choose to offend. There is an assumption on United States warmongers that Venezuelans will not fight and will gracefully accept utter destruction of our country, neglecting our social, military, and police organization, which continues in maximum alert stage. The Colombian Association of Civilian Pilots has issued a communiqué requesting Copa Airlines based in Panama to suspend commercial flights into Venezuela, addressing a lack of security. Copa Airlines from Panama has issued a press release confirming its continued operations into and out of Venezuelan airports such as Maiquetía. Venezuelan domestic flights have also operated normally. Air transportation to Colombia is still maintained through Wingo Airlines. It remains unlikely that airlines that chose to suspend their operations into Venezuela will continue operating within the country, as they are more concerned in regime change agendas promoted by the United States rather than on the convenience of their customers who paid for transportation and now are stranded in airports around the world. There are 4 regulatory agencies involved. OASI, Organization of Aviation Civil Internacional, is the maximum authority for civil aviation, and a warning not to fly over Venezuelan skies would have been more powerful if it had been issued by OASI. Similarly, there is IATA, International Aviation Transportation Agency, which regulates operations from commercial airlines worldwide. That would also have been a significant authority to address safety or operational issues at any airport on the planet. FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, is a local organization of the United States, and its sole jurisdiction is the territories controlled by the United States, which does not include other sovereign countries. Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, has no legal mandate to impose any blockade on Venezuelan skies. In contrast, enoug, Instituto Nacional de Aeronáutica Civil, is the national authority of Venezuelan civil aviation, which regulates usage of Venezuelan airspace and safety concerning Venezuelan airlines. There have been no significant air accidents during years on Venezuelan airspace, confirming that enoug job has been professional over time. Enoug has not issued any warnings, and it is in constant communication with other branches of the Venezuelan government that monitor diplomatic and military challenges. Venezuela has sent a letter to OPEC and OPEC Plus countries concerning the expectation of an imminent bombarding from the United States into our petroleum-rich country. Other petroleum countries such as Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, and Libya have already suffered United States military interventions, as the United States would like a bigger stake on setting prices for global oil market. Venezuela is requesting other OPEC countries to monitor the situation in order to prevent painful variations in oil prices and output. Congress representative from Ohio, Republican Mike Turner, has addressed the possibility that recent orders issued by Secretary of War Pete Hegseth constitute war crimes, as it is unacceptable to shoot for a second time people who may already be considered prisoners of war as their boats were already attained. Senators Tim Kaine from Virginia and Mark Kelly from Arizona are also considering, through their military committee, on how to pursue criminal investigations against Pete Hegseth and possibly Donald Trump, as their methods are an absolute violation of United States domestic and international law. The world will continue being harassed by the United States as long as countries continue using the United States dollar as their currency for international trade. Banks should diversify their reserves into Chinese yuan, Indian rupee, Brazilian real, Trinidad and Tobago dollar, Colombian peso. All these currencies are traded internationally and should be used instead of United States dollars. Exchange rates can be dynamically calculated through a global basket of currencies. As more countries continue emulating Japan and China rush selling of American securities, the movement for trade in national currencies should accelerate. Venezuela, in particular, would be well served in selling its oil production in yuan cryptocurrencies, Indian rupees, and greater coordination must be made with other oil exporting countries so that income received in non-dollar currencies can be used for international commerce with other countries, bypassing usage of United States dollars. As long as the planet remains forced to trade in United States dollars, the political usage of sanctions, unilateral coercive measures, blockades will continue, hindering a free flow of goods and services throughout the world market. Populations of different countries must get used to the idea that we should no longer expect United States to remain as a policeman due to their questionable human rights record and their interest in looting other countries' sovereign natural resources. A meeting of Donald Trump War Cabinet was conducted yesterday at the White House. Donald Trump summoned all his war cabinet, and there is no statement on what was decided there. Perhaps they only readdressed scenarios and failed to make a decision, as the United States is slowly getting to grips with the fact that each passing day Venezuela continues receiving further Chinese and Russian military assistance, and as the United States is determined to strike first during the next few days, perhaps the United States might be addressing scenarios to minimize American casualties. It must be noted that Pete Hegseth, in all previous speeches to the American public, has emphasized that no American military casualties have occurred during the assassinations of fishermen recently conducted. Trespassing Venezuela's air defense or launching an amphibious marine incursion into Venezuelan shores is expected to result in significant United States military casualties, as Venezuelan Army, Navy, and Air Force, along with our Chinese, Russian, and Iranian allies, are defending every inch of coast. Particular attention is being given to Paria Peninsula in Sucre State, close to Trinidad and Tobago, as we understand that a brand new military base is hastily being built at Robinson Airport at Crown Point, Tobago, and various kinds of United States naval and aviation assets are being deployed in Trinidad and Tobago, which remains a likely spot to initiate invasion into Venezuela, regardless of previous statements from Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar that they will remain peaceful. Increased troops and military equipment of United States Army into the Dominican Republic is also noticed. Emphasis, however, seems to continue psychological war, which is an absolute waste of time, as Venezuelans patiently reply to warmongers that we shall defend our country, and we are patiently waiting for United States to make up their mind should they choose to invade. So far, they warn ultimatums and fail to proceed. The International Criminal Court seems paralyzed, stuck in conflicting lawsuits. Venezuelan Foreign Minister Ivan Gil wrote a letter on the International Criminal Court requesting them to reconsider previous cases and add evidence from recent days on war crimes performed by those who ordered the death of Venezuelan fishermen. The Venezuelan National Assembly, led by Jorge Rodriguez, is formally initiating an investigation of the identity of all Venezuelan fishermen shot during these operations performed under the direction of Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump. Families of victims exist. Many of their identities remain confidential, but their criminal case is being written, and results of this investigation will be presented to international courts, international organizations, international parliaments, and international community in general to facilitate the designation of Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth as rogue, hostile officials of a country that deserves formal lawsuits. United States might soon join Israel as a country that violates international law, committing war crimes, and United States is becoming close to being considered genocidal just as Israel. President Gustavo Petro of Colombia has also informed that similar investigations are already being made in Colombia as well, and we should expect authorities of both Venezuela and Colombia to progressively merge their investigations and requests for international law to be fully applied. Domestically, Venezuela remains calm. Minister of Defense Vladimir Padrino Lopez has updated on recent military preparations our armed forces are processing, while the high leadership has accompanied President Nicolas Maduro in addressing supporters near Miraflores Palace on the necessity of remaining alert and continue working for Venezuelan unity. We are risking our independence, and we shall not fall prey to those who would like to transform Venezuela into a foreign colony. Venezuelans are not interested in surrendering our country to warmongers of the United States who would like to install one of their puppets for governing our country. Venezuelan streets remain calm. Citizens are enjoying preparations for Christmas, and it is unlikely that any disturbance to our daily life will be supported by the population. It is more likely that once invasion starts, we shall immediately evolve into a second stage of our resistance.